Well, hello everyone. Thanks for joining us today. And today I'm going to show you what is really should be your very first lesson in chess, which is how to checkmate a king, a lonely king, with what we call major pieces, a queen and a rook, and a combination of those against a lonely king. So the king is lonely, but you're going to put an end to its misery. Yeah, it doesn't start very nice for first chess lessons, but what can we do? So the very first thing you should learn in chess is really how do you checkmate a king with two queens. And that situation does happen. You may think, no, I only have a queen, but in a lot of scenarios, you actually get a second queen with a pawn that gets promoted, and then you end up with two queens, and you have to win. You have to checkmate. So the way to do that is well, let's have a look. So that's the first video, but we're going to do a bunch of little videos like that that we call basic endgames, where the next one, for example, will be a queen and a rook against a king. Okay, so let's have a look. How do we win this position? So what you should not do is just try to check and check until it works. In general, you want to use the queen to define a sort of playground or an area or a surface where the black king is restrained. So it's more like a jail, really. So what do I mean by that? It's let's say I play this queen here. Then if we forget about this queen for a second, this queen here is defining a sort of an area for the king, the black king, to stay. And it cannot, in no cases, can the black king get out of this place. Because this queen is controlling those sort of invisible barriers, if you want. So that's a very important thing to remember in those basic endgames. Now, with two queens on the board, I'm going to show you the easiest and universal way to mate, and there are multiple ways to do it. So you have to decide if you're going to, this way, the way I'm going to show you is called, I think it's called the stairs, and the idea is to bring the king back and back on the ranks little by little and mate him on the last rank. So for that, we're going to use, let's say, this queen and bring it, let's say, here. And now we're defining this area where the king cannot escape. So let's say the king comes here, so it cannot try to get out, so it has to stay in its playground. And with two queens, you're going to use the two queens to push it back. You'll see how. So you bring it here, or it's a check, but ignore the check. And now you bring it here. So the two queens are going to work together. By one is doing a check, this one, and the other one is preventing the king from escaping the escalation method. So we're going to check, and send him back and back. So this is check, it cannot go down, so it has to go up somewhere. And then you do check with this one. So notice that this one was preventing the king from escaping, and this one was checking. Now they change roles. And this queen comes here and checks. And now this queen is checking, and this queen is preventing the king from going out. So the king has to go back. So it goes back. And now you use this queen for check. So you invert. Now it goes back. And you checkmate. And now this is check. And there is no way for the king to escape. So that's one way. That's a very easy way, and it works even if you don't think about it. Like if you're doing a blitz and online or something, and you just want to like play fast, you don't have to think about it. This will always work. Check, and then you bring the tree. Sorry, let's say this, then this, then this. You don't even have to. Doesn't matter. One section where the chain goes, it works. Okay, so that's one thing. Notice how the two trains are next to each other, but it's not necessarily, but it's the simplest way to think about it, and it works very easily. The other way, also very simple, that is really the same way, is instead of using the ranks as escalation, you can use the colons as escalation. So the way to do this is you use, let's say, this chain, and you define this set, this areas here, where the chain is trapped, so the chain cannot go this way. So let's say the chain goes here. Now you can do the same thing and use the chain here to do check, and now you see how this chain cannot get left because this chain is doing the barrier work, so it has to go right, and then you can do the same thing, check, check, and checkmate. So the only difference I did here is I did not connect the two trains. One was checking from the bottom, and the other one was checking from the top. Kind of in like in the sandwich, if you want. But if you want to actually stay more simple, it's better to. So you do sorry. This. So here it's better to actually do the same thing as with the ranks and bring the train here and then here, where it protects each other. So the chain has to come here. And then it's the same thing as before, except you're using the colons. So it cannot go left, it has to go right. Then you use this chain to check, it has to go right, check, and checkmate. Okay, so this, as you can see, it's pretty easy. Practice it with the computer or with a friend or whoever. It's really super important that this is should become easy for you. You shouldn't even have to think about it. And it's really the first thing you should learn in chess. Don't learn openings, don't learn middle games. I mean, learn the rules. The rules are important. But after you learn the rules, this should be your first exercise. Okay, thank you for watching, and let's have a look for the second video now.